Hello everyone, it's Wale here. How do you overcome excessive worry? How do you transform a mind that seems to be stuck on constant state of worrying? Trust me, over worrying is a national epidemic at the moment. Almost everybody engages in one kind of excessive worrying or the other on a daily basis. But we do know that worrying has been associated with poor health conditions and also has been associated with a lot of psychosomatic illnesses. So we need to look for a way to shift worrying. So the question is, if you worry a lot and you realize that you're experiencing inability to focus, you cannot concentrate, you're fatigued all the time, and there's an element of impulsivity. You cannot inhibit inappropriate thoughts, inappropriate behaviors, and you realize that you are always overwhelmed all the time. If all these other symptoms are connected to your worrying habit, then it could be a part of the brain that is very responsible for forethought, for impulse control, that is also being affected by high stress level. So perhaps your prefrontal cortex has not been activating at a very high level, or it could also mean that a part of the brain that is involved in high emotional experiences is also involved. It could be as a result of the high basal ganglia activity. The basal ganglia is part of the emotional part of the brain that helps us to integrate our thoughts and our feelings with our physical actions, our reactions. So if you realize that you experience almost like a tremor experience, you jerk, you shake because of highly charged anxious energy within you, it could be as a result of that. By the way, I am in Killington. I think this is the Killington lake here. It's a very beautiful part of the world. I am on one of my travels, and I thought I would quickly share with you here. Now, there are a few things to do to get started. Sometimes little things make profound effect with regards to the brain functions and being able to allow your brain to come to your aid when life becomes very tough. The first thing I will recommend is for you to pay attention to what you're putting in your stomach. Now, if you find it very difficult to switch away from negative thinking and worrying over many things, and that is affecting other things, it's like the brain is bringing in more impulses and sensory inputs than necessary, then you need to look for a way to reduce. It is to change something with the diet to start with. Okay, now I will recommend that you get rid of all the sugary things in your diet at the moment, because they will fuel that part of the brain that makes you to become compulsive with your thinking. Get rid of all these simple carbohydrates such as puddings. I know puddings, you don't want to get rid of pudding. And sugary things. If it's your child that you notice that in his or life, get rid of all the sugary things and increase the complex carbohydrates such as the whole grains. Include that in your diet, and that little change alone will start to calm down the overactivities in those regions of the brain that seem to have stuck. That's very powerful. So high carbohydrates and low protein food, if possible. High complex carbohydrate. Now the second thing I will recommend, which a lot of people kind of underestimate, is exercise. Exercise, the effect of exercise in the properly functioning brain cannot be overemphasized. Exercise rigorously. What exercise does is that it increases the blood flow throughout the brain system. And when blood flow increases in the brain and is sustained over time, the brain replenishes itself at a very higher level. So come on, if you under exercise, that means if you exercise less than 2 times a week and less than 30 minutes every time, then you want to increase that to 3 times a week, and rigorous exercise, aerobic exercise, where you know that your cardiovascular fitness points is being met. Now, if you have any other disability or any other medical constraint that may not allow you to exercise at a normal rate, whatever you can do to get your heart going, any exercise that could be garnered to move the body even more will contribute to reshaping, rebalancing, and almost servicing those regions of the brain that you need to come to your aid to get you back to normal, to a normal state of thinking and being. The next thing I will recommend is for you to write down your thoughts. If you write down your thoughts, it's very powerful. When you are worrying, identify at least 2-3 things that you're worrying about and journal it. There is a miracle in writing down thoughts. And when you write it down, then start to play with that thought. Play with it. Play with it. Actually, look at it and cognitively challenge the thought. Does that really mean that you're going to die? Or does that really mean that your children are going to die, or going to have an accident? What is the probability? Is that just catastrophizing? Play with that thought. It's incredible because before a cat will kill a mouse, that cat plays with the mouse. So you want to make sure that you do not take your thoughts seriously, because your thoughts are chemical reactions. Your thoughts are chemical reactions. So they are not always correct. They are products of the biochemical reactions in the brain. And if the biochemistry of the brain is under duress, you can't rely on every thought that streams down your consciousness. So challenge it, play with it, and substitute that. Write down your positive thoughts instead, what you believe, with a little trust, with a little belief, with a little confidence, knowing that your consciousness, your sense of awareness is stronger than your biochemistry. Okay, so that's good. There's so much I could talk about, but some other time I'm going to share more with you. So it's Wale Oladipo here. I'm passionate at helping people get to a greater level of consciousness, a greater level of well-being. That is my specialty. I'm very glad that you listened to me today. Okay, look again. It's a great place. It's a great